Nepal completes ballot paper printing for 124 constituencies to launch voter education drive 15 days before polls. Nepal's Prime Minister reviews election preparations in mountainous districts. The Election Commission starts dispatching ballot papers to remote districts. 15% children malnourished in Nepal's West Novalparasi. Over 1,800 found moderately affected as district-wide assessment continues. Bangladesh goes to election in first since Hasina's ouster. Over 2,000 candidates contest as Awami League banned. At least 21 killed after a passenger boat sank in River Nile state in northern Sudan. Rough water said to cause the capsize. And Nepal suffers its second consecutive loss in the ICC T20 World Cup, falls to Italy by 10 wickets. Good evening, I'm Suviksha Rajak and you are watching NTV World News Hour, coming up to you live from Kathmandu at 2200 hours Nepal time. Now, the news in details. The Election Commission of Nepal has said that the printing of ballot papers for 124 electoral constituencies in 58 districts has been completed. So far, 15,778,000 ballot papers have been printed. Around 1.5 million ballot papers are being printed every day. Meanwhile, the Election Commission is launching a nationwide voter education drive aimed at curbing invalid ballots and boost informed participation from Sunday onwards. Election officials say voter education is crucial to reaching citizens in remote areas, many of whom are illiterate or have limited formal education, and this time the campaign will combine outreach with digital tools to help reduce errors and misinformation. We have more on voters' education program in our Issue of the Day segment later in the bulletin. Nepal's Prime Minister Sushila Karki has said that conducting voting in the mountainous and hilly districts on March 5 is possible under any circumstances. The Prime Minister said this after reaching the mountainous district of Solukhumbu to access election preparations, relevant security arrangements and geographical challenges. The condition of malnutrition among children under the age of 5 in Nepal's western district of West Novalparasi has been found to be serious. 15% of children have been identified as suffering from malnutrition during an ongoing nutrition assessment of children conducted across all 7 local levels of the district in coordination with local governments. So far, 13,226 children have been examined. Of them, 13.7% or 1,816 children have been found to be moderately malnourished. Children with moderate malnutrition have started receiving therapeutic food through health institutions, while those suffering from severe malnutrition are being provided ready-to-use therapeutic food supplied by the government of Nepal. Bangladesh held its first elections today since student-led protest ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in 2024. More than 2,000 candidates are vying for a seat in parliament through none from Hasina's now-banned Awami League party. The election pits the centre-right Bangladesh Nationalist Party (BNP) against a coalition led by the Islamist Jamaat-e-Islami, which has joined forces with the party born out of the student uprising. We have more on this in our segment of Cover Story later in the bulletin. At least 21 people have died after a passenger boat sank in River Nile state in northern Sudan. Eyewitnesses said the boat capsized due to high waves. Officials say efforts are ongoing to locate about a dozen people still missing. River Nile state, where the boat accident occurred, has been largely spared from frontal fighting through the border instability has strained resources and infrastructure across Sudan. A referendum on political reforms. Nepal suffered a 10-wicket defeat to Italy in today's match held under ICC Men's T20 World Cup at Wankhede Stadium in Indian city of Mumbai. Chasing a target of 124-run victory target posted by Nepal, Italy completed the target in 12.4 overs. Earlier, invited to bat first after losing the toss, Nepal gathered 123 runs in 19.3 overs at the loss of all wickets. This is the second consecutive defeat of Nepal, which is in Group C. With this consecutive loss, Nepal's possibility of entering Super 8 has become weak. In other match of the day, Sri Lanka registered a 105-run victory over Oman. Meanwhile, defending champions and tournament co-host India is playing against Namibia in the match underway at Arun Jaitley Stadium in Indian city of Delhi. With just 15 days to go before polls open, the Election Commission has rolled out a nationwide voter awareness campaign aimed at reducing invalid ballots and boosting informed participation. We bring more on this after this short break. Welcome back. You're watching NTV World News Hour. About 15 days ahead of the polls, the Election Commission is launching a nationwide voter education drive aimed at curbing invalid ballots and boost informed participation. Similar awareness efforts in past elections were also rolled out late that aided in increasing the number of invalid votes. Election officials say voter education is crucial to reaching citizens in remote areas, many of whom are illiterate or have limited formal education, and this time the campaign will combine outreach with digital tools to help reduce errors and misinformation. Sabika Shrestha brings more.
In one of the world's most geographically diverse countries, Nepal is mobilizing volunteers from urban areas to remote Himalayan settlements in a nationwide voter education drive ahead of the March 5 House of Representatives election. The Election Commission is launching the campaign from 15th of February in a bid to reduce invalid votes. One volunteer will be deployed in each of the country's 6,743 wards across 753 local levels. The program will run till March 1. Volunteers will conduct door-to-door awareness campaigns using sample ballot papers. They will educate voters on proper voting procedures, correct marking and folding of ballot papers, the importance of ballot secrecy, and common reasonable ballots are rejected. Voters are also being informed about how to avoid such errors.
विगतका निर्वाचन भन्दा यो निर्वाचनमा बदर हुने मतको संख्यालाई घटाउने गरी कार्यक्रम अगाडि बढेको छ। मतपत्रमा पट्याउने तरिकादेखि लिएर छाप लगाउने तरिकासम्मका कुराहरू कसरी छाप लगायो भने त्यो मत सदर हुन्छ। हरेक मतदातालाई चाहिँ मतदान कसरी गर्ने र सही तरिकाबाट कसरी मतदान गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने कुराको जानकारी पर्याप्त मात्रामा गराउनुहुन्छ। त्यो कारणले गर्दा यो पटकको मतपत्र बदलाउने संख्या हामी न्यूनीकरण गर्छौं।
To ensure coordination across the country's diverse terrain, one election contact person has been designated in every ward. However, the voter education strategies vary depending on the type of election, as ballot designs and voting systems differ across federal, provincial, and local polls. Still, eliminating invalid votes may not be possible, say the experts, adding that targeted grassroots campaigns can help in reducing the number. The representatives have been connected through an official Election Commission WhatsApp group to facilitate communication and timely dissemination of instructions. Election data show that, on average, more than 4% of votes cast between 1991 and 2022 were invalid. In the 2022 federal and
to start voters' education nationwide. It will formally start from Phalgun 3 to 17, whereas the orientation programs and training programs are ongoing in district level as well as local level. Then we are using more IT based technologies, and also the utilization of just printing and broadcast media also, and also we are just provisioning those volunteers. Actually there will be 6,743 volunteers in each wards. Then they will cover all local levels, and they will go to the residents and households and teach the voters about the importance of election, importance of voting. Of course, there are two ways of ensuring valid votes and reducing invalid votes, focusing senior citizens and also the inefficient people who do not cast their votes themselves. That's why one point. First, our volunteers, voter education volunteers, will teach them how to vote correctly. Another way is assisting them by their relatives or the polling officer. Polling officer can also assist them for correctly voting, but according to their interest, their choice. There is clear provision of how to assist them, then how to vote on behalf of the senior citizens and weak people. That's why there are no chances of misleading them, misguiding them. Political parties which are in the electoral contest and electoral campaigns, they have to submit their electoral manifestos by the date of their electoral campaigns. That's why this year we have fixed the date of Phalgun 4 for formal campaigning of elections. We have issued a directive to all the political parties and candidates to submit their election manifestos by Phalgun 3 because this is the mandatory provision of Election Code of Conduct 2082 as well as other electoral laws. Applications are there against the Electoral Code of Conduct violation. That's why we have just booked them, we have just reviewed them. Then also we have asked for the clarification of the political parties and also the candidates. Election Commission does not recognize any heavyweights and low weights. All constituencies are equal in the eyes of the Election Commission. That's why Ministry of Home Affairs is capable and efficient for ensuring peace and security during the election. We are fixed to do the election on the fixed date, stipulated date, that is Phalgun 21. If any mishaps happen, if any disasters happen, if any natural calamities occur, then the Election Commission will decide accordingly. Then also we are just collecting, receiving, and also just dispatching and delivering the just polling and election materials to the districts and as well as the polling stations. We have been informed about the just deployment of election police, including Nepal police and APF from 18th of Magh, and also Nepal Army have also been deployed from 21 Magh. So altogether there are about 150,000 election police. That's called Myadi police. We would call Myadi police previously. There are 133,980 election police under Nepal Police and 15,110 election police under the APF. They will be deployed according to the necessity, as per the situation. That's why there is no question of peace and security during the election time.
As Nepal's national elections approach, campaigns are at war footing, but concerns over corruption are mounting. Transparency International Nepal President Madan Krishna Sharma has called for immediate financial transparency from all political parties, warning that the current practice of funding campaigns with unclear monetary transaction fuels bribery. He said this essentially turns election into a marketplace for corruption.
Investments always is attached to the return. So why one would invest? Because they will get it back afterwards. And how a politician gets the money he or she has invested in the election or any political activity? It is purely by the corruption, no other way out. So transparency of the political income and expenditure has been emphasized a lot nowadays. If we really want to curb the corruption, the political parties should disclose, politicians and political parties should disclose their income and expenditure online, and that should be accessible and verifiable by general public. Only then this investment matter would be controlled.
Vote counting has kicked off in Bangladesh as the nation held its first election since ouster of Sheikh Hasina. We bring more on Bangladesh elections in our cover story right after this short break. Welcome back. You're watching NTV